Daily Talk Show episode 428.
What's going on, guys? What's happening?
Happy start to the week. Weekend Banter.
Happy end of the week. It's it's been a great week.
We've got mail
tomorrow. We do have mail. A bit of a life update before I get to the mail. Finally locked in a suburban house.
Oh, that's exciting.
Well, we did move into the burbs episode. I even got a few people messaging me saying, "Oh, it'd be great, moving out." Anyway, locked it in. And my mate lives in the same suburb, and I messaged him and told him the news. And he said,
"How close are you?"
He said, "I've just moved out." No, he didn't. No, he said, "Oh, we're literally halfway is Krispy Kreme."
Sorry, I meant how close are you as friends?
A good friend. But I'm now telling you our geographical distance between the two. Yeah, halfway is Krispy Kreme, and so he's probably like a kilometre away, which is great. But anyway, he said he knows all the great places. He said, "Mate, I'll take you around. There's a Greek cake shop that's open really late," which appeals to me, mate. He's fucking knows the way to my heart.
Though, I guess.
Yeah, I know. But
is that the start of the suburban lifestyle?
I don't know, mate. You're from the burbs, and I saw photos of you when you were in the burbs.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, not everyone goes that way, but yeah, there are establishments open that would promote cake eating after 9 p.m.
Sometimes I like to nick out for a bit of a late night. When I say late night, after 9. Just a little session on the computer, doing some emails. And it's nice when there's cafes and shit. I mean, New York City, you've got shit open 24 hours. The places that I have been to doing that are Macca's, because they do have their cafe range. It's like you can have coffee. You don't have to have a fucking burger. Anyway, so I've got that going on. And the other bit is I'm on TikTok.
Oh, really? Congratulations.
Thanks, mate. Just I got 1,400 views on one of my videos, a few comments. I don't know who these kids are though.
Yeah. What did you do?
What did you post?
What was it?
So I made all these videos probably years ago. So when I was at Shepparton and sort of in that mindset of creating small little 15-second, back when Instagram actually only let you put up 15-second videos. Yeah. So it forced all these people to create really short micro content. And so I did it, and I've got them all in my phone still. And so I'm just posting one of those a day. Content. I did, yeah, and they work.
Do you still have the Snapchat YouTube channel?
I don't even know if I have the password to the Snapchat YouTube channel.
It's probably still up there.
It's definitely
so is that annoying for you? Actually, I feel like going down a rabbit hole. I want to see how different you were then versus now.
Definitely. I mean, I was just giving it a severe crack. Which it makes
severe crack.
Severe crack. It's better than just giving it a little bit of a crack.
A severe crack. Yeah.
Severe crack. Like the crack was it opened up. There's a big crack. And so I'm on TikTok. So I mean, if I blow up on TikTok, so be it. I might.
It'd be nice if the Daily Talk Show blew up on TikTok. But I understand with all your old content.
Yeah, I just thought, why not just post it out there? Yeah. Get it done. So I might become too big for this show.
As he sips his water. There's an envelope.
Oh yeah, I'll get to that.
And it says ARN, which is the big one of the big radio networks.
Top three
in Australia. And so I'm curious, what does it say on the back?
It says the address, 3 Byfield Street, North Ryde. Absolute shithouse location. I've been wanting to get out of there. I went and had a few meetings there. It is so far away. It's so far. Costs to get from Bondi there in tolls, like $25. Oscar Gordon, who's been on the show, worked there. He'd drive out there every single morning. The only good thing about doing the morning show is that you're driving at 4 a.m. So there's no traffic and then you're driving home. But it's really expensive in a bad location. But they still get people going out there, all the big celebs.
Well, I was wondering if it was Southern Cross Oz Stereo, I would assume that it was them giving us a job offer for Today FM breakfast.
Or somehow they've given us a redundancy and we didn't even work there. Because they said to just give people payouts.
And so, what is it?
Okay, there we go. Oh, yeah.
So it's a big face.
It's Mitch. Mitch till midnight.
And so how did we get this amazing headshot? Can I have a look at that headshot? Yeah. So Mitch is definitely, I wonder if that's one of the official, if you were in radio, they sort of plan a day where everyone in the business gets a headshot.
I mean, I think people are moving away from sort of those I mean, we are definitely from this no background. It's just a human floating, you know, with like bright clothes on. Because I think it does give the illusion of sort of like it is old school media. But so you're saying this, you reckon this is, he's taken
the promo shot maybe that he got for that. But the interesting thing is the reason why they do it is because they just transplant people together to make teams. So if it's going from Tommy and Candy to Tommy and Stacey,
which it did, and they just used Stacey's photo from up in Cairns and then my photo from Shep.
They just Photoshop.
Put them together. No, but I'll tell you how we got this. Mitch, I follow on Insta, and I saw him just sending these out. Like I think he's taking the piss. Obviously, bit of gear.
Obviously, why are you saying obviously?
Obviously, because you're a wanker if you send out these with fucking no thought that people are thinking.
I think it's great.
No, but I'm saying it is
Mitch
a joke.
I don't think Mitch is a wanker. Well, we don't know if it's a joke.
Mitch, I'm sorry, mate. I do think you're a wanker if you are doing this purposefully. But I think it is. Anyway, so I said to Mitch, because he posted it as a joke, so I knew it was a joke. I said, I just literally put our PO box address in. Didn't say anything else. I just put our PO box, and he sent it. You're a fucking legend, Mitch.
That's great.
You're an absolute legend. So this is going up on my desk.
Did you guys ever send letters to celebs or request autographs growing up?
I mean, these kids that are around us, Josh.
Yeah.
They don't know what mail is. You've seen the struggles of Miss 97 doing postage.
Have you
for
ever
us?
done that? Did you ever have K-Zone magazine or any?
No.
No. You don't? Do you know what aggro is?
No.
Cheese TV?
No.
Okay, so this is the thing. There was Cheese TV, which was a cartoon show, and there were some hosts.
Yeah, I wasn't really into Cheese TV. I was more Today Show sort of vibe.
Old soul.
Yeah.
Either way, if you were a kid and actually acted like a child, because you've acted like an adult since you were born, people would send in to the lock bag, PO, blah, 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 whatever it was, New South
like it was
Wales.
Piedmont, New South Wales. I know all the Nickelodeon ones were.
Yeah. And so people would send legit mail. They would send in like, letters, things. I guess
drawings.
Drawings. Yeah, it's the modern day Casey Neistat, unboxing. Like that guy gets so much mail.
Should we do a bigger push for that? I mean, we've still got the glitter bomb that's sitting on our shelf that we haven't done anything about.
Yeah, there's a reason we.
Yeah. Well, it's a pain in the ass.
It will be fucking annoying. Someone send us a glitter bomb, and it's And what happens with the glitter bomb?
Yeah, it's going to go. It's going to go everywhere. But PO Box 400, Abbotsford, Victoria 3067.
Which is
if you
what
send
Mitch has
stuff.
done. Thank you.
Like Mitch, we'll talk about it on the show.
I will say the thing.
We won't call you all wankers.
And the thing for Mitch is that this is free. He's taken office supplies, which, I mean, the barrier for someone that doesn't have, like, it's a huge. If you send mail nowadays. I respect that shit. Yeah. Like, you got to go to the post office. Remember our conversation in this office is like, where should we get letters from? Oh, Wink, Office Works. And then it's like someone has to physically go there and then, printing. He's used company printer too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. That looks like a prepaid envelope.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got it all dialed in.
So there's something here that I'm just going to rip.
What is it?
I don't know. I'm just going to.
It's like a sticker or something.
Imagine if it was meant for someone else. Oh no, it's just a see-through bit.
Okay.
Just covered up the see-through bit.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Anyway.
3D Deal. What's been going on? What's happening in the world of 3D Deal?
Not much. Just starting to finish up now.
I thought you were saying starting afresh after the week.
After Sydney.
Well, but there's one full week left now of my time in Australia.
That's crazy.
9 days.
Really?
9 days. Yeah.
And upon reflection, how are you feeling?
Oh, I just can't wait to come back now. Like,
come back to Australia.
Yeah, come back to Australia. Like, I want to get home.
You haven't left yet.
Yeah, I know.
The sooner he gets home, the sooner he gets back. Is that your thinking?
Yeah, because the sooner I get back, the sooner I can finish school.
Yeah.
Sooner I can finish school, I can come back.
And so, where do you like after seeing Sydney? Is that where you want to live?
No.
Where do you want to live?
Here.
Melbourne.
In Melbourne.
Yeah. I don't necessarily know where in Melbourne, but I like the beaches in Sydney, but I'm not much of a beach person. Like, I would rather walk around a city and kind of just absorb the vibe.
Yeah, I think Melbourne's
got a good point. It's a good point, isn't it? Everyone says Sydney's the best because of the beaches. What about the unpopular view that people don't like beaches?
Yeah.
You know,
It's not that I don't like beaches, but I mean, like, I wouldn't mind going there for a weekend,
yeah.
right? Like, stay at a hotel, not a fancy hotel, just like whatever I can afford. But I don't think I would be happy long term in Sydney. Why are you laughing?
No,
you're not sending me to Sydney again.
No, it was just the fancy hotel, like the fancy hotel.
They had big Pringles.
It's been a big week for you, hasn't it, mate?
Anything else on to put a end of this chapter? The end of the week.
Oh, not really.
I mean,
End of the week.
What is it?
He just said end of the week.
Yeah.
Sunday. End of the week.
Yeah.
What? End of the week.
Well, pick it up. You know,
See, I've been around you.
You've been
it's
indoctrinated into.
Wait, so you think that Sunday? Yeah, I get it. No, I actually do get it. It does feel like the end of the week.
So it's too
now
much.
that we do 7 days. No, it's because we're doing 7 days a week now.
Yeah.
This feels like the last one. But when we were doing Friday as our last day, Sunday felt like the start of the week. But anyway,
I read recently about why there's weekends. I mean, now it's just like it is the thing.
You
just
need
like
a day off.
What you do.
Yeah.
So it says getting time off to worship on Sundays was fairly easy since observing Sunday as a day of rest was a long-standing Christian tradition. Due to a large number of Jewish immigrants in the late 1800s, factory owners also had many workers who wanted Saturday, the traditional Jewish day of rest, off instead. So it has become the thing over the years. I mean, it's the 1800s, and now it's just a thing that we don't think about. It's just we live for the weekends.
The fact that you have that on hand.
No, I just searched it, mate. The thing is, I can pull shit up. You know when I say, Mason, have you got that? And you're like, nah. What are you doing over there? To be honest,
what did you actually type in to get that?
I
don't know.
Why do weekends exist?
No, what did I say? Why is there weekends?
You wrote that just then.
I wrote, why is there weekends into Google and press go? Okay. Why are you guys so fascinated?
I didn't see him typing it.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I just saw you brought it up and started reading it. Like
I did this and then I did that.
Okay.
He did.
I wrote it down at my hip and then I brought it up to my face.
No, that's fine.
I mean, they're easily impressed here at the Daily Talk Show.
The Google Home.
You got one?
Yeah, how's that going? Yeah. It's going great. I absolutely love it. And I'm wanting to get them all in the house. I want to sell my Sonos.
So why do you have them? Why do you have multiples of them?
Well, because why do you have multiple Google Homes?
Yeah.
Well, because you need to be able to hear things in multiple parts of the house or the apartment.
So is it more than one Google Home, or is it a Google Home and Google Home Minis?
No, well, the thing is, the Google Home Minis, like the speakers aren't necessarily that great.
They're mini.
Yeah,
just a mini
small.
version.
Yeah.
Because I've got no idea. I've never used one before.
Yeah. So how many Google Homes did you buy?
No, I haven't bought any more yet, but I will buy. Like, because they do a thing called Google Max, which is like Sonos
speaker,
but
it's
like
it's got a sub in it.
It's like it's like a proper. Because the thing is that everyone's like, you could freak out and say, oh wow, like if you're spending $600 on a whole setup or whatever is a chunk of money. What about the days? I was at like a Thai restaurant the other day, and I just saw in the corner like a stereo. Like an actual, like a...
With the two cables coming out to the side to the speaker.
With a big volume knob.
Old school.
Yeah. And I was just like, those on the CD stack, wasn't like a stacker, it was like the spin sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so, I'm thinking about doing it. But the interesting thing was Bree's brother has just he sold his because he's so paranoid about people listening.
Them listening in.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what are we worried about?
Yeah, I don't know.
What are you worried about? Like, are you worried about people listening?
I mean, there was all this stuff about like all Google Home, Alexa, and Apple. They're sending recordings to real people to analyze them, and so that wasn't included in any of the terms and conditions and privacy policies. So,
what a shit job to have to listen to a bunch of
that.
Idiots.
It's full on. Like there were literally like cases of people having sex and all this different stuff, and they're just listening to it, which is
little perverts.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Absolute little perverts.
Yeah, not great.
Well, because maybe is it loud? Not like it's
any noise it picks up, right? Yeah. Like, and so they have keywords like "Hey Google" or whatever. But I mean, it still goes off.
Oh, you're going to annoy the fuck out of people because you just said that. Everyone's.
Hey Google.
Is that so? It's any voice.
Any voice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you can set it to on
Insta. If you're listening right now and your Google has gone off from Mr. 97, please do an Instagram story.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's pretty. Like it is interesting.
The worst was the Hey Siri, which is for me. No one else. It will work for no one else.
Mm-hmm.
When I say that in the car, which I'm going to get, I know because Amy's, I was thinking it'll get Amy, but when I was listening back to our podcast like a real narcissist, I said Hey Siri in it.
Mm-hmm.
It just got on this loop because it goes Hey Siri and then I stop it. And then when you go back to the podcast, it rewinds 10 seconds and gets back to that point where it says Hey Siri and then just goes on.
It was like the millennium bug. Like it's essentially what it was.
That was a crock of shit, wasn't it?
Yeah. Actually, I guess like nothing happened. The idea was that like the dates were fucked or something. And
you were born 2000, Mr. 97? That's
1999.
Okay, so you were nearly one.
Yeah.
A bit over one. Heading into the new year.
Yeah, I would. No. I would have been 1 month old.
1
months old.
So, sorry, 99.
Because I was
Okay,
November.
yeah.
Month old.
Mate, I don't know the age of my own kid, to be honest. I think he was born the year that he was conceived, which is the weird bit because you're pregnant in 1 year and then the baby actually comes the next year. But as soon as you see the bump growing, you think it's when he was born. You think it's like just when he was.
Yeah, he was there from
He's in existence because he's just this big little blob in a belly.
I get it.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, it's Sunday. It's been a long week.
It's been a big week. I tell you, the guests that we've had been lovely. Lovely.
Yeah,
and then
Emmy Lou on tomorrow.
Yeah. She's fascinating. So I was writing something before and it was writing about, and I had Dill check it because he's a better writer than me.
Yeah.
And it was just about the day that we had in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the day that we went to interview Seth Godin.
Mm-hmm.
That day was fucking electric.
Yeah.
When you think about it, and I wrote I just was writing about that day and I was getting so excited just thinking about what had happened. We got up at 4:30 a.m. We get on the train. We're heading out of New York City up along the Hudson River, to interview Seth Godin. Fuck, that was amazing as it is. After that, we end up bumping into Chase Jarvis, who we've both watched, for years, and he's right where we were about to record a podcast outside of the Flatiron building. And then we asked him to come on, and then we bumped into Post Malone later. Like, crazy shit happens in one day.
Yeah.
And
do you remember how you felt on that day?
Shit house.
Yeah.
Yeah. My voice was cooked by the end of it. I felt so shit. But looking back, it's like, look at what happens when you put yourself out there. We said recently, when you look back, when we were in New York City, we had like a quarter of the audience we do now. So what business did we have doing any of that shit? But that's the thing. You could always look at what business do I have interviewing Seth? What business do I have going to New York City to do this thing? But it's not about that. It's like you've got to almost – I think that's – in the early days, you always feel like that it's almost imposter syndrome. It's like, what right do I have? It's like you've got as much right as the next person. Yeah.
97's been talking about an international trip that doesn't involve us.
Ah, what?
Oh. The one that I brought up like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know when it was, but you
it was on the show.
Plan, you got a plan that doesn't involve us.
Oh, well, I mean, I want to go to South America with Jason Andre.
The Coconut Crew.
Yeah, and go backpacking for maybe like a week, 2 weeks.
The boys in Copacabana are doing a bit of
what are you imagining? Like what's the vibe? What are you hoping for?
I have no idea. I just feel like, I mean, we were sort of watching a lot of Narcos, and that's like in Mexico and South America and Colombia and stuff. So that's exciting. But yeah, I mean, there's some cool like landscapes and stuff down there. So just sussing all that out, different culture. I think that'd be cool.
Are you finding yourself looking at content online to get yourself excited?
No, not really. I think Andre's doing that a lot more, but I think his enthusiasm gets me excited. So I don't really look at content around it. aside from Narcos.
Baby hasn't left the country by himself.
No.
Let alone the state by himself.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about
Backpacking.
I mean, backpacking already sounds like a nightmare
But
to me.
backpacking, whenever I think backpacking, I think like longer than a week.
What do you think backpacking is then? What's the definition for you?
I mean, it's just doing a trip cheaply. Like, I mean, you've, whether you actually bring like a suitcase or an actual like hiking pack, I don't know, but it's just staying in like hostels and that sort of stuff. You're paying like $50, not even $50
living out of a backpack.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
There's a great book. I think it's like How to Live Off $50 a day or Travel on $50 a Day, which is very cool.
Excluding accommodation?
Including accommodation.
Yeah.
For the whole thing. Yeah, it's great.
I mean, the prep that needs to go into that.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like a great headline. I'm sure you could do it, but I just even think any of those places you want to stay in South America that you want to live after, you want to walk away alive. You're only alive if you're walking away. Really.
I mean, how much is the backpackers there, do we think?
Oh, I've got no idea.
I reckon
no idea.
Like 30 American, 30 USD a night. I reckon that's like a cheap one. Cheap. I reckon to be up to like 85, 90 USD a night for some of them.
So my favourite site before I went away, because I did 3.5 months with Bree in Europe last year, there's a site called Nomad List. And I'm on their Slack as well. But Nomad List basically has all of the places around the world that's like the most affordable. They basically have all different filters or considerations. So if you have a look.
Is Nomad an acronym? What does Nomad stand?
No, it's just like a nomadic lifestyle.
Okay.
Or like it means like not being attached to like...
You just travel around. Yeah. Like you're not.
But so it's related to travel, right? But I'm saying, is the definition relating to travel, or has it just been?
It's relating to not having a home. I think Nomad. I'll tell you the actual definition.
Because I relate it to the person that's living this sort of carefree life, moving around.
Yeah.
Dull bludger.
No. It's a member of a people that travels from place to place to find fresh pasture for its animals.
It's old school.
Yeah, absolutely. A person who does not stay long in the same place, a wanderer. And so Nomad List is interesting. It's sort of big in the tech space. So tech people like developers and stuff who have work that they can do anywhere in the world, remote work. You can go to Nomad List. So some of the things, it's got like an overall Nomad score, they call it. Then they give you a cost of living, internet, fun, temperature, humidity, air quality, safety, quality of life, people density, walkability, peace, traffic safety, hospitals, happiness, nightlife, free Wi-Fi in the city, place to work from, AC or heating. And it goes down to like even stuff like LGBT friendly. So pretty awesome. And so for instance, like you can go and you can look, for instance, and see where the best, like if you want to go for a month away, you can see the cheapest places to live. So Budapest comes on up top in regards to all the boxes. So it was like the cost is $1,680 a month US.
Wow.
So you can live there, including all accommodation and stuff.
Wow.
I mean, I wonder what the ecom's like.
Well, the thing is that
it's
you
not
can,
your North Baldwin home.
Yeah.
No, but I think that like some of these places, like especially Poland, like Warsaw is high up here. But when Bree and I went to Krakow, really inexpensive. Like you're talking maybe, say, something that would cost a few $100s in one city might cost you like $70 type of deal. And then you look at the food costs and all that sort of thing. But that could be an interesting way, I feel like from a travel point of view, even with you, Dill, like working out where to stay and being able to have stuff that's beyond just working out, okay, it's not purely the cost. The other cool thing is people have put in the average like costs for different items too. So in Warsaw, it costs 85 cents for a 300 ml Coke.
On average?
A beer for a 500 ml is $2.56. Is that?
Yeah. Is that euro though?
No, that's USD.
That's good.
Not bad.
A coffee is $1.73 US. So yeah, it's interesting. I think that's sort of like a fun. I can get when it comes to traveling. I like spending the time going onto those sites. There's another one like Star Alliance, which is like a bunch of airlines, and you can go on there and do a world trip. And so basically, like they have different tiers depending on how many continents you do, and you can just like click through, and it will give you a price, and then you can click and actually. It has the itinerary there, and then you can
book it.
You can book it.
Yeah, because when you see those flight deals, you see the advertisement for the flight deal, but then I can never find the fucking purchase button.
Specific date, like you have to go
like
like
there's T's and C's, flight between blah blah blah, and if the wind's blowing in one direction, you may get it.
Yeah, well, you can play around with it, which is cool.
Yeah.
So like those are all the things.
It is like if you could find if it's $1,600 in Budapest, you reckon you could find the accommodation that equals that? Is that like a shitty?
Do they link off to it?
No, like you can. I think.
Or is that the average?
I mean, the thing is that I think the average cost of an apartment would be like maybe $600 USD a month.
Yeah.
And so then you work that out, or like it could even be like $400 USD. It's not much money when you look at places that are like you're only getting paid, like you only get paid for work, maybe $400 a month. Living has to be fairly inexpensive.
I mean, the reality is people spend more time working out how much their week will cost when they travel than they do about their own lives back home. Because it's like, who can just like pull out on their phone and say my expenses for this week per month is X, Y, and Z. It's which is probably alarming.
Well, I think Bree and I got way better when we came home based on that because we were thinking about it all the time. We literally have a spreadsheet of every city and what it cost us. And the funny thing was, it was all the most expensive ones were the two things that were my ones, which was Amsterdam for IBC and New York. They were the two most expensive.
New York's an expensive city. You're not going to I wouldn't backpack there, mate.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, New York is crazy. But LA was like fairly affordable in regards to Airbnb and stuff.
Yeah. How do you think, Mason, that you'll go? Because you have to I've stayed in one backpackers in two, Rome and Florence. I actually have a good friend from the one when I stayed in Florence. We just met. He was a PT from Sydney and we got along really well and we're still friends to this day. But I remember like it's handing over. It's out of the comfort zone.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Are you up for putting yourself out of your comfort zone? I mean, who's really up for it?
Well, no, I think it helps having Jason Andre there.
Yeah, like that makes such a difference.
Like a support system.
All of you, all of us are just we can all be out of our.
Who stole me coconut oil? Fucking I'm not.
Yeah, you just have to hope that Jason cracks it and just books you guys a hotel.
Yeah, that'd be right.
Yeah,
you'll need a credit card, will you, or a travel card?
Travel card, yeah.
You're a smart
Travel
boy. He doesn't
card,
have a credit card.
Yeah,
no credit cards for young man.
That's interesting. I mean, I think that's part of the journey and the traveling and all that sort of thing is actually the planning. Yeah, and I guess to your point, there is something fun about being like, oh, where is the cheaper? Like, where's my cheap coffee place? Because that's what you do when you travel. You find all these little hacks. It's like in Italy. Like some places that are like so cheap to get like an Aperol Spritz or whatever, but there's also places that are super fucking expensive.
Tourist traps.
Yeah.
as you did.
Tourist traps are the biggest thing, right? Yeah. Like the difference between being in like a piazza and eating there versus going around a street. But there's certain places where it's very hard not to be in one big, like Venice.
Oh, that's
is one big tourist trap. You literally like the whole thing. It's like being in a theme park.
We don't have like what's the tourist traps in Melbourne? A Fed Square. Like there's not to the extent. Like I would feel comfortable and wouldn't be that pissed off buying a coffee within 5 k's of the city.
Yeah. I reckon
that was you know.
I reckon tourist traps that it piss me off, and this is I feel like common, is it's like it's never just the price. It's always like you pay more for the food and it's going to be shit food as well. So it's like it's not like I've never experienced a tourist trap where you've paid heaps more because you're a tourist and then it's like a really delicious. It's always the fucking cheap street food in Thailand where you're going to get the best curry.
Yeah.
And the best stomach bug.
Exactly. Versus somewhere else.
Yeah. All right, babies. Let's wrap this one up.
Yep. Tomorrow, last day that you can get hoodies.
Yeah.
So you better do that. The Daily Talk. I'm really fucking tired. thedailytalkshow.com/hoodies if you want to get onto them. Otherwise, we'll see you on Monday with a pre-record, which is with Emmy Lou.
See you
then.